All right, everyone. Ian here with Scott's on the Rocks. And today, we're going over something a little bit different. This is going to be a shorter video, but I wanted to show you something that is a really cool piece of personal history. So this is the Blue Jackets Manual from 1943. This book was given to sailors who were getting ready to deploy to the Pacific Theater. Now, the reason it's so cool and it means so much to me is that this has been passed down from the original owner. I'll open up the book here. Again, she's fallen apart. She's a little old, but this was given to Howard Hemphill, who turned around and gave it to Donald Francis Smith, who turned around and gave it to me. So, Mr. Hemphill had this in 1944, August of 1944. Now, the war was about a year from ending at that point, and the Americans were on the offensive. So, then, in 1948, Mr. Hemphill turned around and gave it to my grandfather, Donald Smith, who then turned around and gave it to me in 2001. Now, what's really cool is you can see in this book the years and the unit identification number. So that means they were in the military at that time. But if you look at the bottom where my name is, there's no unit identification numbers. So that was in 2001 when I hadn't joined the military yet. So I didn't have the honor of putting down unit identification numbers. But just like this book, I wanted to show you the American flag that I film out in the background a lot. So as you can see, it only has 48 stars. That is a World War II flag. And again, just like this book, I'm very happy to have it. It's very important to me. It's a very cool piece of history. But getting back to what this channel is mainly about, which is survival and bushcraft stuff. So, what's cool about this book is it is chock full of information. I distinctly remember bringing this book to school when I was a kid and actually reading it a lot. As you can see, she's seen better days. One of the biggest things that I distinctly remember about this book and reading it was the difference between saltwater fish and freshwater fish. Now, saltwater fish, just like sushi, you can catch them and almost eat them right away. You can eat them raw. However, freshwater fish are not like that. And it says in the book it's because freshwater fish are known to have more parasites and worms and things that can absolutely make you sick, whereas saltwater fish don't exactly have that problem. But if we open the book, which I'm going to do very gently because, like I said, it's starting to fall apart, you can see it tells you the difference. We'll open it up here, and it'll show you the different flags. So there should be a section dedicated to specific flags. Let's see. Just do it like this. That way I'm not ripping anything apart. Again, I want to treat this book very gingerly because it's way older than I am. It might be on the other side, but again, I'm just going to be super gentle. Anyway, I may or may not be able to find that page. You're just going to have to take my word for it. But there is a part dedicated. So, there we go. So solely dedicated to the different flags and what they mean. There's also a section where it talks about the different Allied and Axis flags, what you're looking for. So, Americans would have had, there we go. So these are the flags of the different nations. And you could see we have the American flag with the 48 stars. We have the British flag, and then we have the German and Japanese flag. So, as I keep saying, this book has just so much information. And it's kind of a shame it's fallen apart, but it talks about everything that you would need to know as far as being a sailor in the Navy during World War II. It's got swimming techniques, it's got firing positions, how to use the big guns on ships, how to use the small personal weapons like the Springfield and the 1911s and the Tommy guns, and it's got survival techniques. That was one of the big things that appealed to me about this. When I was talking about the fish, how to signal for help, I've talked about signal mirrors in a previous video. That's all in here. And what's interesting to me is just to see, some things have changed, but some things haven't. One of the big things that I see is knots. Knots is still a big deal in the Navy. But I'm really impressed with this book. It seems, it seems like back in the 40s, they really went out of their way to get their military guys all the information that they could possibly use. And it's the same today. When I was in the military, I had a bunch of books. I had the Warrior Tasks and Drills book that I had to keep in my cargo pocket at all times. And, not when I was deployed, but when we were garrisoned, and we'd pull it out and do, hip pocket training is what they called it. But it's just not as in depth as this. They have calisthenics here. They have ways of working out. They have what you need to make sure that you do on the deck of a ship. It's not just your basic. Well, for me, it was basic grunt tasks. How to make what's a column formation? What's a wedge formation? How do you do a hasty ambush? How do you do a planned ambush? Looking for improvised explosives. It was all that. It was all based on my job. But this seems like it's something for everybody. It's got a little bit in there for everybody as far as how you would do your job in the Navy. And I don't want to keep holding this book up, but hey, so my advice is to go out and go to your local thrift store. See what they have for books. I'm sure you'll find something that will absolutely just blow your mind, something you didn't even know existed, and you're going to have to pick it up. And 9 times out of 10, it's going to be incredibly cheap. This wasn't found at a thrift store, but again, this is something that was passed down to me, and I plan on holding on to it and keeping it as best a shape as I can. I know this video was short, but I got a lot of other stuff going on in the pipeline. I got a lot of other videos that are going on right now. I just wanted to get something out, let you guys know that I'm still here, I'm still going, and hopefully next week's video it'll either be about first aid again, or it'll be about a camping trip that I just took. So those are both going to be full-length videos. But hey guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next one.